go to the next one, we can talk of the financial. So financial, Roman 2, financial. Perspective. So this one we can use from what we have there. The profit you can get. Actually, we have sales and we have the production cost. Yeah. So those two will give us the profit. So you can say here that profit equals to sales minus production cost. So we can do in total and in existing. So you can start with if you say we start with which one is given there first? Existing. So let's say existing. The sales for the existing is 550 and the production costs is actually 375. The new, the sales for new 125 and for the existing the new for the production cost is 70,000. So the gross profit we have here, the profit we have is we can get this difference. We have 550 as a sale minus 375. This is 175,000 and this is 125 minus 70. This gives us 55,000. So therefore the gross profit or just net profit ratio, so this is giving the profit divided by the sales times 100. If you want to get that ratio or margin, profit over sales divided by 100. So you have existing equals to 175,000 divided by 550,000 times 100, which will be 175 divided by the 550 times 100 is giving us that 1.8. But the new, it is 55,000 the profit divided by the sales, which is 125,000 times 100. This will be 55 divided by 125 times 100, 44. So you may want to say that the new product has a higher margin than the existing one because it has 44, while the existing has 31.8%. So that is how we can compare about the financial. We do not have any other, because financial is about profitability, and we have one type of cost and you have one type of income, so that is enough. Then we can go to Roman 2. We can try the internal process. Perspective. This one, like I talked about productivity, I can see already we have the units produced and you have the cost. So you can talk of the production cost per unit. Let's talk over this is unit cost. Unit cost equals to total, or we can say production costs. Unit cost should be, we have production cost divided by this is output or units produced. So that we can say now here we have existing. The production cost for the existing is 375,000 divided by the units produced. Units produced existing is 25,000. This is going to give us shillings what per unit. Let's see. We have 375 divided by 25. This shillings 15 per unit. Then the new. The production cost of the new is actually 70,000. The units produced of the new is 5,000. So this is going to give us 70 divided by 5. This is shillings 14. So we can say by now that the new product has a lower cost per unit and even a higher margin. So that is a good thing. So for the financial and the internal, we are doing good because the new has actually a better some better results. Then we can also have here another one apart from this unit cost. We can also have another one here, which is I can see we have the hours. So we can look at the productivity per hour. We can look at the production per hour. This means we take the units produced divided by the hours. We don't know how many units per hour or how many hours per unit. So if we do whichever that comes first. Like if I take my production units to be high, to be numerator, I divide by the hours, I'll get to know how many units per 1 hour. If I take my hours to be in the numerator, divided by units, I'll be able to know how many hours I'm using per 1 unit. So you can say here, this is units produced divided by the hours. So like we have existing, the number of units produced, of course, we know they are 25,000. The number of hours that has been used in this existing is 5,000. So this is going to give us 25 divided by 5. This is 5. This is 5 units per hour. Then we have new. The number of units produced is 5,000 units, while the number of hours that we have used is 1250. So this will be 5,000 divided by 1250 hours. This is 4. This is 4 units per hour. Now this is like saying, should you take the inverse of this? Inverse 5. Inverse is 1 over 5, which is like a 0.2. This is 0.2 hours per unit. The inverse of this 1 over 4 is 0.25 hours per unit. What does it mean? It means that the new product is consuming much more hours. It's consuming 0.25 hours per unit. While the existing one, we are doing the 0.2 hours. We are consuming less. So in terms of productivity, in terms of production hours, then you can see that the new product is somehow consuming more hours. But in terms of the costs we are spending on a unit, it's cheaper for the new. Despite it using more hours than the existing, is also going to pay us or going to incur less cost. And that's why it's even giving us a higher margin. The last one is about the innovation. Roman 4. Innovation or growth or learning. Now this one, perspective. Like I've said there, you look at the whether we are how much are we injecting in the development of the products. So you can say here we have this is a development divided by the sales times 100, because this is money divided by money. So what percentage of the sales are we spending on development? Because sometimes we may make out of sales, but they don't do any development. So how much of the sales do we take or do we finance the development of this kind of a product, coming up with a new product or so? So like in our case, because development is in total, we also need to do total sales. So you can see here that where this total sales, to be specific, total sales, this means both the new and the existing, the amount of money we are going to spend here. Sales, we have 550 plus 125,000 This coming to like shillings 675,000. So therefore, the development cost is given as 47,000 divided by the 675,000 times 100. So what percentage are we spending here? We have 47 divided by 675. So times 100. You can say like 7%. We are spending 7% of our sales in creating a new product, in coming up with a new product, and that means we are able to have some new information. So the 7%, it determines, or it depends whether 7% is lower or is higher. But you're not talking about the size. We are looking at how we measure the same. So actually, it's just using this information that you're being given and get to know how much have you spent or received out of an action, which you can be able to measure there.